Oh, thank you. My name is Karen Palmer, and I'm the storyteller from the future, and I've come back to enable you to survive what is to come. That's why I created a film called Riot, which watches you back using artificial intelligence and facial recognition. However, just before I go any further, I kind of get the sense that not all of you actually believe I'm from the future. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go against protocol number 5673572B, and I'm going to tell you something about the future I couldn't possibly know unless I was from there. Because you see, it's very important for me to get your attention, because we're living in some very serious times. So at the moment, with regards to technology, in this time that you live in, you guys control your technology, like your iPhone and your iPad. But in the time where I come from, technology controls us. So you see, with regards to things like driverless cars and Ubers for the future, the adults now are very concerned about security.
Reopen the process.
However, in the future, the main issue is about, adults now are concerned about safety. However, in the future, the main concern is about security. You see, if you were to call for a driverless car and you have a very, very small outstanding warrant, like say for traffic violation for unpaid car parking tickets, when you get in this driverless car and it sees your identity through the AI, it will lock the car down. The locks will come up in the door, and you will be completely locked in like a metal prison.
They're so excited.
And then what will happen is that you will be transported to the local police station. You won't be going to your party where you think you're going to see your friends or going out. You'll be taken to the police station for processing. And the car's called a temporary police transportation device. You see, it's very important to make sure that you're aware of what's happening with technology in the future. Because when in the future, it's used to exploit and control. So what happened is, your future self had a message for you. And that's why we've got this event today, so that we can find that message. We all decided to come back here today to get that message. You see, why for wonder they actually believe that this is a conference, a 4-day conference for adults. But this whole event has been orchestrated for this 15 minutes so that we're all in this room together to get your message from the future. You guys want to get your message from your future self? Yes. Are you ready? Okay, well, let's do it. So you decided that you were going to hide this message where no one would find it, and that we would access it here today, September 14th, 2018, in Sydney, Australia. Have you anybody here got any ideas where we could possibly leave a message then no one would ever find it? Hey, where? Hi, yeah, where?
Somewhere deep in the TARDIS.
That's a good place. That was the first place we said, but we knew someone would find it. Yep. So what'd you say? That was another place we looked at, but then we knew they'd also find it. Anybody else? Where? We decided we were going to leave it in ourselves. You see, it's coming back to you. You see, you're realizing that we have to leave the message in ourselves, and that way no one's going to find it. You see? Ruth, I'm really glad that some of you are already starting to remember this. Okay, so what I'm going to do with you now, as a time traveler from the future, I'm going to show you a 3-step time traveling process for us to reach your future self. Are you guys ready? What I need you, first of all, if you've got those nice Wired for Wonder bags, which are quite hip and trendy, is to get the notebook out, and if there's a pen, because we're going to get some very important information, and you're going to be looking back at this book in years to come. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, so this time-traveling process has been inspired by parkour. And you guys said you know what parkour is, right? Yes. Wow, you guys are really hip to the hop here in Australia. So parkour is an urban inner-city sport, which is about moving from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. However, parkour is really about moving through your own personal sense of fear. Why is that important? Because in your life, often, if we're not careful, we can let fear define who we are. So it's very important for us to be able to master our fear. This time traveling process has 3 stages inspired by parkour. It has a warm-up, it has a commitment, and then it has a leap of faith. Okay? Okay, the first one we're going to do is a warm-up. This is an energy frequency calibration. It's very, very ancient, and it comes from the beginning of time. We're going to do this for like a minute and a half, because if you're time traveling, you can't afford to time travel and your energy is all over the place because your molecules won't come back together when you time travel. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Good, good, particularly the guy in front. No? Somehow, okay, we'll do it in the... If you're time traveling and your matter changes and expands and conforms, you've got to make sure that everything's at the same frequency, otherwise you're going to lose part of your matter. Okay, so this ancient frequency recalibration in this time on this planet is called breathing. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to breathe for a minute and a half because there's lots going on in this environment. It's a really interesting day, lots going on, people around us. I just want you to kind of go back to yourself. So we're going to breathe in, and then we're going to breathe out. We're going to breathe in, and then we're going to breathe out. Breathe in, good fresh air. Breathe out, stale air from our lungs. Breathe in, breathe out. Start to feel how you feel relaxed. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep breathing. You can use this breathing technique whenever things are going not exactly how you want it to be going in life. If you just return to your breath, it can help you kind of manage your emotions very easily, okay? So breathe in, just a few more. Breathe out. Okay, I think we're ready for, let me just go back. Okay, so what we're going to do now is that we're going to move on to the first stage. For the first stage, we're actually going to be ready for a little bit of time travel, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm just going to move us into your future. 3, 2, 1. So what I want you to think about is a dream or a passion or a goal, something that you really, really, really want to achieve. It could be going to college, it could be going to a new school, it could be having new friends, it could be starting a new job for those that are leaving college, it could be maybe moving into a different new life. I want you to think of something, a real passion, a real dream, something which is important to you that you'd like to do within the next 3 months to 2 years. Have you guys got something which means a lot to you? Good. Anybody else apart from this guy has got something that means a lot to him? So what's your name, man? Anthony. Thank you. Anyone apart from Anthony? Think about something really, really good, something that's got something really, really important to you. What I want you to do is start to imagine that this thing, that you've obtained it, whatever it is. If it's a holiday, imagine to feel the sun on your back. If it's like to be going to college, see yourself doing the first day of college. If it's to be doing a new hobby, see yourself immersed in that hobby. If it's to be hanging out with new friends, see yourself in the group laughing, whatever that thing is. Now, here is the key. When you came here today, how did you guys come here? Train. When you got off the train and you walked up the road and you turned around the corner and you saw this building, did you expect to see this building when you turned around the corner? Anthony, you're trouble, man. You're trouble. Yes. Then when you saw the building, there was no surprise whatsoever. You expected the building to be there, right? You were absolutely 100% sure the building would be there. I want you to imagine this dream, this passion that you have. I want you to have that same certainty, like the building is there, that you're going to get your passion. Okay? Once you can feel that and see that, I want you to write a date in the book for when you're going to achieve it. And then when you leave here, I want you to put that date in your calendar. Okay? So if you see that in like December 1st, 2018, 2019, write that date in the book, and then when you leave here, you're going to put that date in the calendar. I just want you to see your dream, and then see the date that you're going to achieve that dream, and commit to putting that dream down. Make sense? Good. Okay, I'm going to move on. The next thing is that we're going to do is that we're going to move a little bit into the past. Now we're going to go back in time. I would like you to go back in time 3 years, and I want you to write down the advice you would have given to your past self 3 years ago. Maybe there was a period in your life, or maybe it's just like your general year, just to go back and any advice you would give yourself. Then I just want you to go back a little bit further, another 2 years, so it becomes 5 years, and give your past self the advice you would have given, knowing where you are now and where you were then. What advice would you have given yourself from the future? 5 years ago. There may be a correlation between the two things, or they may be completely different or slightly different. Does it make sense? You guys still with me? Cool. What's your name? Usher's with me. I don't know about Anthony. You still with me? What did you say? You're always with me. But I'm going back to England. How are you going to always be with me? Okay, we'll work it out. Okay, now we're going to get to the big part here now, guys. We're going to meet the future self and get that message. What was the guy that said it was in the brain? What's your name? Jen. Jan. That Jan said we're going to get the message that we left from our future self. So now we're going to travel to the future.
Ready to engage.
You ready to engage?
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Okay, now we're going to travel to the future. We're going to travel to the future 2 years into the future. And I want to see yourself. I want you to imagine the person you're going to be in 2 years' time. What is your typical day? Where do you live? Who are your friends? What did you have for breakfast? What's your typical day look like? What clothes are you wearing? What food do you eat? I want you to imagine your future self in 2 years, and I would like you to ask them what advice they have for you today. Okay, we're going to do one more last bit of time travel. I would like you to travel in total 5 years into the future from today. And I want you to wake up in your bed in 5 years and open your eyes and see where you're living, see the environment around you. What woke you up was an alarm because you've got somewhere to go. Have you got to go to college? Have you got to go to a job? Did someone who loves you in the house say, hey, breakfast is ready? Was it birds outside waking you up? I want you to wake up in that space in 5 years' time and see the life you'd love to be living. I want you to see this perfect future self that you have worked towards and created. And I want you to ask your future self what you had to do to become this person. And I want you to listen very carefully to what advice your future self has for you. And I would love you to write it in that book, because that's the message that you hid, and that we all promised and agreed and made a pledge that we were going to come together in this space under the guise of Wired for Wonder to reclaim this message. Have you guys finished? Are you guys with me? Okay, one person's with me. Okay, so now we've kind of gone into the future. Let's come back to the present. And I just want to say to you, thank you very much for time traveling with me today. I hope that you have some important messages in there that make sense to you. And I want you to always remember that all the answers that you ever need in life are hidden within you, and that all you need to do is ask the right questions. And I'm going to remind you again that this is a very special event that we all promised to come here and be here today. Wild for Wonder think they did a conference for adults. This is the 15 minutes that this is all designed for. So thank you very much for all agreeing to keep to the promise and be here today. And I hope that whatever you have in your book is something that you'll be able to cherish and work with moving forward. Thank you very much.